Mag of Cascadia tuning in. It's been many months since I've uploaded to my little YouTube channel. A lot has changed in my life, in my family's life, since the last time we updated. My wife gave birth to our son, our second son, 2 days ago, 6:28 in the morning. His name is Nolan. He's 8 pounds, 12 ounces, blonde hair, pink skin. Mama's healthy. Total perfect scenario birth. Did a home birth in our house, and everything went just swimmingly. It's wonderful. This is more so, it's like I try to be, professional, like I'm talking to some large audience or something, but I know that I'm not. I know that I'm basically talking to myself, so that's okay. So I want to talk about just some, pop culture, right-wing sphere, Twitter shit that's going on. Mostly because it's a guilty pleasure, and I find it interesting, and it's like entertainment. Truthfully, it's like entertainment for me, and I've been going, in crazy mode. It's springtime here on the farm, so I'm just busier, and you can even imagine. Wife has been super duper pregnant for the past couple months, and now the baby's come, and the water's coming on. Harvest is a couple months out, so I've been going all around the clock like a madman. So yeah, I just want to talk about some silly shit, and then I'll touch in the end and give you some more mag of Cascadia, esoteric, astrological, omens, paganism, the gods takes at the end. But what I would like to talk about, the day that I'm recording this, I think it's the 14th of May, 2026. And recently, this fellow, who I don't watch his streams, I just see his clips on Twitter, and I've seen his clips for a while on Twitter. He goes by Chud the Builder. And he's basically a white man with a big old fucking sack. And he goes around and live streams his life in, Tennessee. And he basically goes up to black people and asks them if they believe in free speech. And then they say yes. And then he says, so you think that I can, white people can say nigger? And they usually freak out and attack him or whatever. And he's basically built his whole life around this. Because he did this, he lost his job, he lost his kids. He's been, heavily persecuted and whatnot because of this. And so he would consider himself like, a free speech champion. He's not actually, like, you see him get along with many different races and black people and all sorts of people, like he's not actually a racist like me. But so he's pushing this free speech envelope kind of deal. And Mr. Chud got in an altercation outside of court a couple days ago, and he shot some nigger that attacked him. I don't know if the nigger died or not, but there's all these people on Twitter. It's my entire Twitter feed. It's everyone in the entire rightoid sphere is talking about this fellow, and it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting hearing all of these right-wing influencers, their take on the whole situation. And I, in my humble opinion, let me see if I can set this right. Well, I think we're good. In my humble opinion, Mr. Chud, him getting shot, or him shooting someone and getting assaulted and whatnot, and apparently he's going to prison now. I think it's like it's a good example for what we should do. And I'm not talking about doing what his name is Dalton Etherly or Etherly. I don't know how to say his name. I'm not saying that we should do what he does, but what I'm saying is it's a good example for us white folks to tribe up. It's high time that we tribe up. It's high time that we are unapologetically pro-white or unapologetically on our own side. So I was asked by a bunch of my boys, you know, what do you think about this Chud the Builder situation? And I said, word for word, I said, you know, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. If you're walking around the South with a camera on and you're a big white man with a fucking cowboy hat on and suspenders and shit, and you are exercising your free speech, you're right. You're not really insulting. He never insults anyone off the bat. As soon as they come hostile, he comes back at them, calls them a fucking chimp, all this shit, you know. He says, oh, they're chimping out when they start to freak out and whatnot. So, if you're a white man that does that, in this political climate and in this world that we live in, that's a very dangerous thing to do. Now, is he morally in the right? Like, do I believe in free speech? Yeah, 100%. 100%. He should be able to say whatever he wants. If some goofy ass brown person comes up and calls me pasty or calls me whatever, I give zero fucks. Zero fucks. I don't give a shit what these goofy nons say. I don't care. I'm like, whatever. Your skin's a color of shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, the fuck out of my face. You know, it doesn't really offend me or whatever. But if you do this as a white man and you do this to other races, you'll be attacked, you'll be hunted, you'll be doxxed. They killed this guy's dog, they got him fired from his job, he gets 1 million death threats every day from fucking niggers all over the place, and, you know, like, it's crazy shit. So I said, you know, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. But, with that caveat, he is an Aryan man. And so I support him. If there's a GoFundMe, I'll support him. Like, would I do what he does? No, I wouldn't do that. But if he wants to do it, he can. I think that he should have that right to do so. But you see all these right-wing influencers online disavowing him, and this is the problem with this. And I need to stop calling it a movement, which, you know, something Rebecca Hargraves, which you should check out her YouTube channel. What she said, which is so interesting, is, you know, we should stop calling this the movement, because that makes it sound like it's some organized thing, when if you look at the right-wing sphere, it's not organized by any means at all. It's like a fucking shit show of random people. And what we should say is the cause, which is true, the cause. So a lot of these people in the cause have been counter-signaling Chud the Builder. And this is just a perfect example of why we are where we are. White men fight back. White men tribe up. White men train. Pick our side unapologetically. That is how we win this. This is how we retake our nations. This is how we reconquer the world, ultimately, is we have to have this radical in-group preference. And yeah, sure, Chud was doing some shit that I wouldn't do, but I respect him for it, because he's fucking has 10 times the balls, 1 million times the balls, as all these faggot online, you know, pundits that sit in their mom's basement and talk into a mic and think that they're somehow the leader of the movement, like, or the cause, you know, like Nick Fuentes is a good example. The dude is so full of himself, he thinks he's the leader of the cause. I'm like, Nick, you're a fucking 5'5" gay spick. If I saw you in public, Nick, I would fucking slime you out. I would fucking break your teeth out, man. You're a little faggot that all you do is talk. You don't do shit. You counter-signal all pro-white movements. You counter-signal Patriot Front. You counter-signal Return to the Land. You counter-signal, you know, this Putz guy that was running against that street shitter Vivek in Ohio. You just totally counter-signal him. You know, and all this drama about Dan Bilzerian calling him a Fed and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I ultimately don't know. But to me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's a pointless thing to try to figure out if Nicholas J. Fuentes is a Fed or not. It doesn't fucking matter if he's a Fed or not. The fact of the matter is that he constantly pushes division within the cause, within the movement. He constantly pushes division. He counter signals everything that's pro-white, and he's constantly stirring up this shitstorm. And he thinks the whole damn cause of pro-white and JQ revolves around him. It's like he's literally a short, mixed race, city boy, city slicker faggot. And when I say faggot, I'm not just saying like, oh, he's an idiot, loser, whatever. No, he's a homosexual. He's a homosexual that sits in his, in his high castle or in his high tower and speaks from a microphone. He doesn't do anything in real life, and it's just silly. So, I know that Nick Fuentes disavowed Chud the Builder, and I just think it's really important. It's an important note to make when you see all this stuff that's happening within the culture, within the cause. It's a really important. Really important takeaway is that we got to stand up for ourselves. Fucking niggers will stab an innocent kid at a track meet, Austin Metcalf. Some deranged nigger will stab a white man to death, and his fucking dad will go on stage and apologize for it and capitulate and do the whole anti what's the word I'm looking for? Austin Metcalf's dad went on and disavowed anyone that was speaking about the race of his son's murderer. This is crazy. Austin Metcalf, a white kid, gets stabbed to death, and the fucking deranged nigger gets like $1 million or whatever in GoFundMe from black people and brown people. A murderer gets that. But a man exercising his free speech, all the people in the right-wing movement will disavow him because it's low IQ and it's all this shit. And it's just, it's quite revealing to see the whole ordeal. So that's all I wanted to say about it. Free Chud. I hope he's doing okay. If there's a GoFundMe, I'll donate to him. He's got fucking balls on him. Would I do what he's been doing? No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't live in the South or around a bunch of niggers in the first place. And so yeah, I support Chud. If I got to talk to Chud himself, and he asked me like, why wouldn't you do what I do? Like, you're being a coward not doing what I do. I would tell him straight to his face that, like, yeah, man, you got balls or whatever, but I don't think you understand the political climate. I don't think you understand really what's going on in this nation. And you going around and calling a bunch of chimps niggers, like, yeah, it's funny, and you should have the right to be able to do it, and I support you doing it. But I understand that in the political climate of our culture right now, we are in a soft or a quiet genocide. We are in a full-blown war, and people don't even know it. We're being racially, demographically replaced. All of our cultural values are thrown down the toilet. We're taught anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-U.S. Ideologies in all the schools. All the movies are in popular TV shows and Netflix and all this stuff. It's all owned by people that outright hate us. And when I say us, I mean white Americans. I mean Americans, white people. The whole system is literally geared on snuffing us out from existence, stealing all of our wealth, and giving it to brown people, whoring our daughters out, stealing our money. It's like I've said it before, like the Sam Hyde quote. It's these people want your kids dead and raped and brainwashed, and they think it's fucking funny. They think it's funny. So I would just tell Chud, like, hey man, if you want to fight against this stuff, like, you got to get involved. You got to get involved in real life organization within groups of people that are actually trying to create, a true movement and a fight against all this stuff, and to network within, with like-minded people and do activism and do all this stuff. That's how you actually, enact change. If you're going around calling monkeys, they're gonna chimp out, dog. They're gonna kill you. And that's what the guy tried to do. He tried to kill Chud, and Chud's got some fucking balls on him, and he shot the nigger. And he's probably, most of these judges, this is another thing. It's like, dude, these judges, the cops, the journalists, the people in the newspaper in my town. I know the people that write the newspapers in my town. They're literally homosexuals. They're literally gay. So it's like, and they're leftists. They're Bolsheviks. They're Marxist. That's what you have to understand, is that the entire system is totally co-opted, and its purpose. A system is what it does, and the system we currently are seeing is genociding us. It's trying to rid us from this world and steal everything that we love and destroy everything that we love. So yeah, that's what I would say to Mr. Chud, but he's an Aryan, so I side with him 100%. Free Chud, you know what I'm saying? There was another thing I wanted to touch on. Let me have a drink. What was it? Something important. Something relevant and interesting. Well, I can't exactly remember. That's okay. Yeah, my son was born. He's healthy, strong, big baby. Blue eyes. For sure gonna have blue eyes like his mama, like my family too. Named after his great-grandfather, my grandfather, Nolan, who had blue eyes. So, yeah. Just wanted to check in and ramble a little bit while I let this water line drain, and yeah. Hail the gods. Hail victory. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Oh, wait, stop. I remember what I was going to talk about. So, I don't really care what anyone thinks about astrology. Not astronomy, astrology, the sun signs and their effect on this world and on people and on all the things in this world. My son was born in Taurus. It's currently Taurus right now. The sun is in Taurus. And the sign of the Taurus is the bull. It is the horned beast. And the day, it was 12 hours before, pretty much. Actually, it was 24 hours. So it was the day before my son was born. I woke up as a farmer real early, went to work, and I was wearing my wife's grandfather's belt. I have a belt that her grandfather gave me. Really cool integral belt that has a big old on the belt buckle, longhorn cow. Badass belt. I've had it for many years. Don't wear it that much though, because it's nice, But for whatever reason, that day I put the belt on. Well, I drove down to work, and I get out of my truck, and my dad pulls up real fast, real hot, down to the shop, and he exclaims, he doesn't say anything else, he exclaims, "I just saw an elk on the edge of the orchard." And I said, "A bull? Question mark? A bull?" He said, "Yeah." So he said, "I don't have my gun. Go get your gun. And, we'll try to go hunt this thing down. We'll check, we'll go, see where it is, do some hunting." So I drove up to my house and went to my safe. And instead of using my, I usually use, it's a Remington, I think it's a Remington 700 bolt action, shoots at 243. I've had it since I was literally 12. I've shot so many elk and deer with it, I've lost count. It's just a super basic gun, but super reliable. And I sighted this thing in, like I said, I'm 29. I sighted this thing in over, 15 years ago. And this thing shoots fucking straight. It shoots straight as fuck, and it shoots a long ways out. I've shot coyotes 500 yards with it. I've shot all sorts of stuff with it. And for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going to use a different rifle. So I grabbed my grandfather's, which my dad gifted to me. It was his grandfather, so my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, it's an Enfield M1917. That's what I think it's called, if I'm correct. It is a refurbished. I think they used it in World War One and World War Two. But after the war, they like sportified a bunch of them. Like they had a surplus of them. They sportified them. So I think they shortened them. I think they shortened the stock a little bit and they shortened the barrel a little bit. And then they sold them to civilians they sold them to civilians. So my grandfather, my great grandfather, his name was Gene. He had this rifle. Anyways, he used to shoot elk with it. Just iron sights. He never put a scope on it. He shot elk with it all the time. Up here in the mountains above where I live. And it was passed down to me. So for whatever reason, I was like, I'm going to use this rifle. I've shot it like a couple times. So I take it. I go walk all over it's like 6 in the morning. I walk, all over the place looking for this elk. And finally I get to this canyon where I think that this canyon is way below where my pops saw this elk. And so I start hiking up the canyon, and I could smell this bull. I could smell him when I got into the canyon. And I'm walking up this canyon. It's just a thicket, and it's steep. It's like this. I mean, it's like where we live. It's extreme elevation differences. It's really, really super deep canyons and just mountainous. And I'm walking up this canyon, and I look up, and this great horned owl comes flying down the canyon. I couldn't hear it obviously because they're silent, but as I looked up, he was it felt like he was like a foot above my head, and just went right over my head. I could barely hear his feathers. And for whatever reason, I knew that was a sign. I'm like, oh, this bull's up here. I can smell him. This owl, this huge owl, just flew right above me. So I pull up that 1917, and I'm walking up the canyon, and sure enough, this young bull with velvet still on his antlers pops up, and I put him down with that rifle. And all of that to say, my son was born the next day. The first thing I said to my dad in the morning was, "A bull?" ? And then I shot this bull because it was eating the orchard and destroying shit. And I shot this bull with my bull buckle on, with my grandfather's rifle, and in Taurus. So there is all of these familial connections tied to the coming of my son and the sun itself within Taurus. So to me, that's an omen. To me, I knew, because we didn't know when the boy was coming. But after I shot that bull and I kind of pieced it all together, I told my wife, I'm like, oh, he's probably coming tonight or tomorrow, for sure. That is a sign from the gods, no doubt. And I was right. It was a sign from the gods, and our boy was born healthy and strong. So, yeah. Feeling very blessed in this life, and love springtime, and love my family, and yeah. Anywho, it was nice to get all these thoughts out of my brain. I've been working 12 hours a day and taking care of my family and doing the whole thing. So, anyways, hail the gods, hail our folk, hail victory. I'll catch you guys in the next one.